Oh, that was good. That aided in the mm, Freudian slips.
Hello, Ollie.
Hi, Danny.
And hi, everyone else. This is Freudian Slips. This is where we get to talk about the shrinks, kinks, and things of the mental health field. And today, we are continuing with our 5 love languages breakdown and teaching you how to fix them and talk about them right. But I really want that to be kind of the end the last time I mentioned the 5 love languages for this episode. Yes, we know why we're here. We know what we're doing. A couple weeks back, we did a whole review, a scathing review of the book, and we've
What are
been
you
really
talking about? We loved it.
and we've been going through the languages to help people have a healthier understanding and to give them better ideas of how to implement them if it's important to them. But what we're talking about today is actually the work of someone who I deeply admire and an exercise that I really love. And so I want it to stand on its own. So this is a 5 love language tie-in. I'm done. Now let's get into what the real thing is. Today, we are going to be fixing physical touch. And how we're going to be doing that is by talking about Barry McCarthy's 5 gears of touch or 5 dimensions of touch. This is one of my favorite exercises as a sex therapist. I love this conversation and I'm really excited to share it with y'all. Cool. All right. So Ollie, what do you I know I've talked to you about it and we've also taken courses led by Barry McCarthy. What is your impression of Barry and do you even remember this exercise?
No, I remember you brought the exercise up to me when we were like consulting
Mhm.
about like a few different like cases or clients. And you brought it up to me and I was like, oh, yeah. But I remember I really liked him. And it's funny, a lot of people bring his name up to me.
Yep.
And so, or they'll be like, oh, like Barry McCarthy. And it just makes me happy that I think in general, therapy is kind of this like small world, especially if you're like a marriage and family therapist or couples therapist, like it just kind of becomes more and more niche. And I really love that in the like sex therapy kind of sphere, it's even more niche. And then there's people like Barry McCarthy, whose name just like stands out, or people that, I think are getting introduced to the field, like hear about him. And it just always makes me happy when I think people that are really cool end up getting like Emily Nagoski.
Yeah, yeah.
I really jive with. I've never met her, but like we've like heard her talk and I
Uh-huh.
like I like her. I get really excited when people that I'm like, "Oh, like nice. Like you're a cool person." Like I get excited when their work and who they are becomes really big in a field that like I work in and like, am immersed in all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this guy is big fish in sexual health and in sex therapy. For those of y'all who don't know, Barry McCarthy is an emeritus professor of psychology at the American University. He's also a diplomat in clinical psychology and in sex therapy. This guy has published 121 professional articles, 33 book chapters, and 24 books. And he's
24?
presented in more than 450 professional workshops nationally and internationally.
Dude's busy. This is where I'm like, we need to strive for more. I
What the
just
hell are
am
we
like
doing?
feeding the fucking chickens like an idiot.
Yeah, and in 2016, he also received the Masters and Johnson Award for lifetime contributions to the sexual field. This guy is
Barry.
also one of the sweetest, and I am infantilizing him a bit, and I want to say this very respectfully. He's one of the sweetest and cutest people to watch do a presentation because he is getting up there in age, and he also, I believe he has like he's mentioned this. I think he's public about it. He has a like a learning disability that just makes technology something that just doesn't click for him. Haha, pun intended. And so obviously when Ollie and I were going through our education, it was virtual because our program was based in Florida. We're both here in California. And so whenever he would present, the screen would just stay on and you would see him just like get up and leave and just kind of make a coffee or just talk to his wife in the background. Like he just doesn't doesn't know how to manage the technology, but I think it's the most cutest thing in the world. It's a part of his charm and he does a great job. He gives so much good information and he wants people to take the information and give it to and disperse it, give it to everyone else, teach the masses. And so I do love this exercise. I have a few of his books. I love his work. I think he does a great job. So if you guys are really considering how to improve your sex life or how to really kind of talk about physical touch, his work is something that I would really love to kind of put in your field of view. So cool. Ready to have some fun?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, what are the 5 gears of touch? A little bit of background. How does this conversation come up in my practice? Is oftentimes we're dealing with a desire discrepancy. We or a difference in libido. Just our sex life is not where we want it to be. And this has always been a very helpful way for me to offer a visual and offer an understanding of why our sex life is where it is. So, as a small little preview, there are 5 dimensions or 5 gears of touch, right? We have affectionate, sensual, playful, erotic, and sexual. I like to use my hand like this because of what happens next. When we look at research or when we talk about our couples, when we talk to our couples who are struggling with their sexuality, what we'll notice is that they are very affectionate. They're still affectionate. And to a lesser degree, they still are sensual. We'll get into what those are in a minute. But what we notice the most is that couples have stopped being playful and stopped being erotic. So when you then consider the gap that now couples have to cross from their everyday affection to then being sexual, it makes a lot of sense. It's actually very difficult. It could be challenging for people to just jump back in bed, even though they're very loving, even though they're very affectionate. They
Mhm.
wonder, what the hell? I love hanging out with my partner. I think that they're gorgeous. I think that they're so attractive. Why are we still struggling to make things happen in the bedroom? Once we're able to have this conversation, light bulbs start to click. We get to leave them, we get to send them off with good exercises, and then we're starting to kind of expand their repertoire. So,
And Danny, I think it's important to point out for people that are not watching and only listening to the podcast, Danny, so when he said the five, he
mhm,
assigned one to each finger, and then
yeah.
the two fingers that went down, playful and erotic, are next to each other. So now
Mhm.
you have that gap between like the third, yeah, the second and fifth finger, and
Middle
so
and
that's
fingers.
like the gap he was talking about. But yeah, just for people that is a very strong visual, so if you can even just kind of see how Danny described that, I think that's really important. Because
Mhm.
that's anytime I can show, like, charts, graphs, or, like, have, like, a visual like that to match what I'm explaining to clients, I feel like it helps every time. Like, no matter what kind of learner it is, like, when you are describing a new topic and you can pair the words with just some kind of visual representation of, like, this is what I mean, or this is what this looks like. I don't know if you notice this, Danny, but, like, every time it's like mind blown. And it's just so incredibly helpful. So I wanted to, like, make sure to point that out.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it. So, let's kind of get into it a little bit. This core psychosexual skill exercise is aimed at increasing awareness of each partner's preference for touch. It lets us know maybe where we need to kind of put our focus or what we need to improve on. And so, the way I kind of want to run today's conversation is I would love to explain each one, kind of give you some examples of how you might be able to practice this. And then, just for some fun, I'd like to know where it's at in your relationship or just in your general practice, Ollie. And everyone else, y'all can comment down below or comment, give us an email or whatever. Let us know which one you're kind of struggling with. Which ideas are you going to take with you to improve that? And then in the next episode, maybe you can let us know how it's working out for you. It's cool. Awesome. So let's start with the first one, and that is going to be affectionate touch. We're going to consider this gear one right here on my pinky. Affectionate touch usually involves clothes on touching. I want us to think of the most lightest stuff: holding hands, hugging, and kissing. Those are generally the big 3 examples that I give. Affectionate touch is not sexual, but it provides the foundation for intimate attachment. This is super important. Before we go any further, let me kind of take a step back and remind us of the 3 rules that I do still want to honor in this one. So, if we're talking about true acts of love, number one, we define love as an action that protects and respects a person's value in health. Number two, when we are trying to be loving, we should be focusing on trust and respect. Let's focus on the positive beliefs we have about our partners and our relationships, and let us give regard for someone's thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And number three, that if we are going to play into this whole language bit, I do want to talk about the conversation that is happening here. And so I think this one is going to play quite nicely. So let's look at affectionate touch. So the three actions are going to be holding hands, hugging, and kissing. What does this communicate? I've said this ad nauseum. If you know me, if you've been a student of mine, if you're a colleague who I consult with, if someone who I've kind of helped out, or if you've listened to a few of these episodes, you should know by now that I believe sex to be a physical conversation. It is body language. And so I'm always interested in what your sex says or what you're communicating with your body. The conversation that I think we're often having with the first gear, with affectionate touch, is that of admiration and fondness. I really do think that that's what you should be, or that's what we are telling our partner when we hug, when we hold hands, when we kiss them, that I admire you, that I am fond of you, right? Let's kind of take a quick little break there. So, hugging, kissing, and holding hands. Ollie, where's that in your relationship?
Oh, in my relationship?
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, first of all, I know that this isn't the kind of kissing you mean, but I want to scream it from the rooftops. I'm like, why are we not making out anymore? I love making out. I want to make out like we're under bleachers. I love it. No one else does it anymore. People be having sex and they're like, oh yeah, we didn't really kiss. I'm like, what? How did that not happen the whole time? So love making out. I also love little kisses, but I love making out. And then I'm a big, like, it's funny, Ryan actually, I think my husband got me into my cuddle era. I was not a big, like, holder of I wouldn't say we hold hands a whole lot, but like the touching, the hugging in a way that Danny, I wanted to point out too, like we all know what it feels like to like hold hands with, like your sibling or crossing the street, helping
Yeah, yeah,
someone
yeah.
or like a hug versus like my husband is the one that I think it's like when we hug or when we're just like watching TV and we're hugging or he has his arm around me but he's like kind of like pulsing my shoulder a little bit with his hand or like just rubbing your back a little bit. It's
Mm,
like this feels so much deeper or closer than just like, well, I put my arm around you on the couch, like we're touching. And so I think he helped me lean a little bit more into those things that I never realized I liked so much.
mhm.
But I think it's important that people, because yeah, then it's so nuts. You think that some people view physical touch as just like sex. When
Sure.
it's like, whoa, like there's so much nuance even to hugging. Or one of the things I'll have my couples do is like, hey, if you guys are, giving each other a hug or a kiss before you leave to go to work, like hold on an extra 2 seconds. Like it's like little things like that. You feel a difference. You're like,
Mhm,
whoa, like if you kiss each other goodbye, don't like kiss and immediately turn. Like kiss and then like look that person in the eyes and be like, I'll see you when I get home. It's like these little itty bitty nuances in how we kiss, how we hug
mhm.
make a world of difference over time. How about you? How does it show up for you guys?
I am an affectionate person. This is
Mhm.
something I've never really been weird about. Like even when me and my partner, my wife, when we first started dating, just from the very beginning, like I don't mind having a hand on her shoulder. I don't mind giving her like a little massage. I don't mind giving her a peck in front of everyone because I hope I'm not like crossing any boundaries. I've actually never asked. No one's ever come up to me, and so maybe I've been making everyone super uncomfortable. But it's just that like I do admire the hell out of this woman. I am very fond of her, and this is just one of the ways that I communicate that. It is funny because when we first started dating, she was very much the one that was not physical at all, and this is
I could
something that
see that.
yeah.
That's
This is
funny.
something that we would actually talk about in kind of like a flirtatious, bickering, bantering kind of way. And what surprised me, this little girl, I'm telling y'all right here, okay? She
Well,
is
she of age, not that little. Just I
okay.
don't want
This completely adult of age, young, short statured woman. Okay. She is so brown and so strong and independent. She's like, I am strong and independent. I don't need no man. And then she would always make fun of me. She's like, I don't know. I don't know about you because the thought of like holding hands, I think it's just so weird. The thought of just like kissing in public, no, thank you. Like get a grip of yourself. And then we started dating, and those walls, like those of Jericho, fell almost fucking instantly. right? That little girl melts if I hold her in public.
Yeah, because you guys make us weak at the knees. We're like, "This is a front. What is going on?" I remember the first time I was like, "Man, this guy's leaning in real hard. He's really trying." And then I was like, you just wanna do this shit? You're just gonna grab my foot while we're watching TV and massage it?
Yeah.
Okay. What?" So I get it, pal. I get it.
So, for everyone listening at home, I want us to think of the simple ones, right? The hugging, the kissing, and the holding hands. If you guys are noticing maybe that our sex life isn't where we want it to be for whatever reason, right? Whether there be some serious issues or maybe we're just kind of have been missing each other, whatever it might be, if it feels safe and welcoming to you, I really do challenge people to just focus on step one, gear one this week. Think about which one of those are most pleasurable for you, which one of those are something that you feel confident doing. And then let's see if we can increase those 2 or 3 times this week.
I just love how actionable this episode is, and it's just so
Yes.
many I love this. This is making me so happy.
Yes. Let's think about the fondness and the admiration you have for your partner. Channel that into those 3 very simple acts, right? Now, let's say that we're all good. Let's move on to gear two. Right here, my little ring finger, if y'all are looking. Gear two is sensual touch. This is non-genital pleasuring. Could be clothed, semi-clothed, nude. This is, I think, a little bit more in the territory of what Ollie was talking about a minute ago. So the way that I kind of explain this to my couples and my people is let us look at holding hands, hugging, and kissing, and now let's expand that a little bit more. This is where we get the head, the back, and the foot rubs. This is where we get nice cuddles on the couch. This is where we're kind of more in the makeout session territory. If we're looking at a trust position or really kind of like cradling or holding each other, this is that sensual touch that I'm looking at. Again, nothing sexual is really happening, but it is an integral part of sexuality. It has value in and of itself, but it is a bridge to sexual desire. What is the conversation that we're having here? I think sensual touch really communicates healing. Because when you think about these things, healing, back rubs, foot rubs, if we're going somatic, which is something that I don't know why we always
I
seem to like
know.
do that
We
when it's
love somatic.
foreign for us. Um, but this is something that I do mention in my sessions whenever we're talking about trauma. And for some reason, whenever I mention it, couples light up. They really, really like this information. And so if we're noticing trauma, one of the questions I always ask is where is that located in the body? How do you hold your stress is another question I might ask. And so people might say, well, it's in my head. I get a headache, I get tension in my temples, my shoulders, my back, my blah, 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 blah. Great. Once we're able to locate it in the body, what I do suggest, what I invite them to consider is what would it be like if in your stress times, if your partner was able to touch your stress, massage those areas. Let's say that we don't know how to handle a conversation. We don't know the way forward. We know that we're struggling. What is a nonverbal way to communicate that even though I don't know what to do, I am here for you. I do see you and I do care about you. And the thought of being able to locate where your stress is and the idea that your partner can come in and put a firm hand, like a loving need into that has actually worked wonders for so many people. I really do think that sensual touch is this safe and healing conversation.
I was
I
gonna
love
say that,
this.
Danny. I was gonna say for me, I feel like it shows safety
Yeah.
and, like, trust because you're, like, allowing and I mean, if we use that exact example, like, you're trusting this person, you're allowing them to get that close
Mhm.
to this part of you that probably feels, like, really vulnerable or activated right now.
Yes, right? That's where your tension lives. That's where the pain is without having any kind of verbal conversation. Because again, some couples may not have the tools to do so or they may not know how, but just being able to touch your pain, to hold your pain like that has actually worked wonders for a lot of my couples. In and of
Mhm.
itself has been a wonderful intervention, has been a great exercise. So I think you kind of already led us down this path, but let's kind of jump back in. What is your favorite? Or I guess if I give you a different one, what do you notice is Rye's favorite thing here when it comes to sensual touch?
Ooh. I think he loves a good cuddle.
Mm.
Like, he just loves a good, like, cuddle on the couch, and I will say the way that you're framing it too, Danny, makes me I like cuddling, like, at night. Like, after a long day, if we have, like, an hour to hang out on the couch because we both work late before we go to bed or something, Like, that's when I like leaning into those kinds of things, is like after a long day, when I'm tired, when I'm like, okay, I don't like, even if we just watch something together and we're not going to talk too much or something, it's like, I just want to be like resting on your chest or like, have my legs over your legs or
Mhm.
something like that. And so that is an observation that I haven't really made until now or like as we're going into it, but I definitely prefer that stuff at night. And yeah, I think he's, I think, big cuddle guy, big cuddle guy. How about you guys? What's the way you lean into sensual touch?
This is again, I am a physical person. Love, and I think this kind of goes into like the fact that I don't actually talk a lot, right? Like all all this work that we do aside, I actually don't talk. I'm a very big introvert. And so I do communicate a lot with my body, oftentimes with my very blank face. But, with my body. So I love sensual touch. I love massaging my partner. I love kind of holding her hand and massaging like her fingers. I love when, she's like washing dishes or if she's just kind of like doing something around the house. I like kind of going behind her and giving her a squeeze. We don't cuddle so much at night when we're sleeping because we have our kid that just likes to crawl all over us. But when she is down for a nap, that is actually our go to thing. We love just kind of
Mm.
shutting everything down. Like, hey, stop what you're doing. Come to the couch right now. We have a list of shows that we're watching and just get in here, right? I want to be the biggest spoon ever. And so, yeah, I do. I love cuddling. I think cuddling here compared to everything else, like I love a good massage, but another fun detail is my wife, she's very dainty. I think I'm just nerve dead. I think is what it is because she'll be touching me and she was like, "Do you feel that?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, like I noticed that that's your hand." She's like, "No, but like, does it feel good?" I'm like, "Yeah, it feels good. You're touching me. What do you mean?" She's like, "No, like my hands hurt. I am trying to like give you a massage." And yeah, just for whatever, I just don't feel it. So we have massage guns.
That's I don't know if that's a thing. Brian's literally there's this name of this one kind of massage where they like basically beat the shit out of you. And he's looking for it. He's trying to see if he can find it near us cuz I will literally get my entire body weight with my elbow like on his back and I'm like I like use the other hand to dig it in as hard as I can and he's like laying on the floor and he's like, "Yeah, can you go any harder?" So it's like we're if you know of anyone who will beat the shit out of my like 6'1" husband in a massage, let us know because we really can't find one in the Bay Area right now. So you too, one and the same.
Hmm.
We need this as a PSA. Like let the men love cuddles. Like men love cuddles too.
Yeah, I love me some cuddles. Yeah. I love having I think that's one of my favorite things about having such a like a small wife, like a small person, You get to and it just feels so nice. Yeah, so that's my favorite. I think she loves a good massage. Yeah, I think she loves a good massage. Me, I would love if I felt anything at all, and so I love just a good cuddle session. Yeah. So if this is where you guys are at this week, right? If you feel confident with your gear 1, let's consider gear 2. When was the last time that you guys just stopped what you're doing and just cuddled? Really just spooned, massaged each other, right? Just put in a video, just put on something on streaming and just kind of not Netflix and chill, right? Not with that idea of leading to sex, but just allowing your sensuality to speak for itself, to have room to breathe, and then come back and tell us how you guys are doing.
And Danny, this is where I think for me too, when I'm working with couples, I love sensate focused
Sure.
work. And so I think I introduce like a lot of sensate focused exercises here because it is an area that I think people overlook. Or there is
Mhm.
there's like, I don't know, like like there's some minimal touch and then there's or the kind of more like affectionate touch and then it like leads straight to sex. And it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, let's just like live in the sensual area sometimes for a little bit. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
with no expectation that it's going to lead to anything else. So I give so many couples exercises around these things like all the time.
Yeah, a lot of sensei focus exercise I think would be perfect here, And so
Mhm.
maybe that's something that we cover later. But no, I love where your head's at. I'm the same way. And I think because of what you just mentioned is why gear two really starts to fall off because it tends to always be connected to sex. It tends to be the thing that leads to sex. I wonder how many times because we don't want to give mixed messaging or because we don't want to, reject people or whatever, that this is where so many of us really start to pull back. Either we know that if I let my partner touch me, if I let my partner cuddle, this and that our script, our history has already told us that it's going to go in one direction. I just don't want that. And so I'm starting to pull away even here. And so please let it breathe. Just have this, get comfortable with this for the next couple of weeks. And if later down the line, right, if at night, what I always say, even when we're doing sensitive focus exercises, is you might get aroused and you might really want to have sex afterwards, right? This might really get things going. That's wonderful. But please do us and your nervous system a favor and put a period. Let the exercise be finished. Let the cuddle session just end. Give yourself 15 minutes, give yourself an hour. If you're still feeling, frisky after that, then go ahead. But even if things are going well, what I really want is for people to just let that be, just end it, high five, a little pat on the ass, maybe pop in a few mints, just to celebrate. I don't know.
All in a few minutes.
And then if we're still feeling it, come back later. Because I really want to break that association that when we do cuddle, when my partner does touch me, that it means sex. And so on now I'm starting to close up.
Well, it's like how we sorry, Danny, this topic really gets me going. Okay, it's like how humans love habits. We love routine. We like stick to what we know. We've talked about that in a bajillion episodes or even in the like why we might keep picking shitty partners. It's
Mm,
like we love habits and routine to the point that I think it can be a detriment, especially in areas like sex, where if you just kind of get in this rhythm of like, oh, first we do this, then we do this, and then it leads to sex. Or like, oh, we hang out every Friday, and that's kind of when they'll spend the night and we have sex. In a sense, I get it. If you're only seeing each other once a week, that's your time. Essentially, it's almost like planning sex, which I think is great. But I think the caveat is once we start adding in other parts of this equation, once you start manipulating it, and maybe now we've been together a really long time, maybe someone's experiencing pain around sex or there's some erectile dysfunction, maybe there's a lot of stress happening in someone's life. Like that's not going to go by the playbook that
mhm,
you now have in your head. And I think more often than not, it makes me so sad when people really start to freak out or like one time that this doesn't go how they thought it should go, quote
sure.
unquote, we derail. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, no, what's wrong here? Or we project things onto our partner. Like, your penis gets flaccid one time in the middle of sex, and it's like, are you not attracted to me? Like, what's going on? Are you cheating on me? I am not saying that those things are true 0% of the time, but like much more often than not, it is just our bodies like dealing with everything else behind the scenes.
Mhm.
And so I'm really glad that you pointed that out because yeah, we sometimes have to sure we might want it to lead to sex, but that's why I think people get so confused when you go to any sex therapist and probably one of the first things they're going to tell you if this is an issue you're facing is that sex is off the table. And they're
Yeah.
like, "Well, this why am I paying you? This is counterintuitive." And it's like, "No, because we really have to rewire, like, like you said, Danny, the associations that you currently have and the things that you think are just gonna lead to sex." Or it's like, "Oh, this felt great, and so now, of course, we're gonna have intercourse." And it's like, "No, like, it does not have to lead there, and sometimes we can just have a great time." And then, "Oh, no, someone got flaccid during it," like, that's okay. Let's make some popcorn. Let's finish that episode of the show. It's like
Mhm.
we don't need to just completely spiral and derail at the first time something here is going wrong,
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're actually giving us a really good segue into the next one.
which is, I think, my favorite one. My
Yeah.
favorite.
So before we leave, try one of these out, right? If you like a massage, if you like giving massage, receiving it, if you like a good cuddle, let's see if we can focus on increasing this one 2 or 3 more times this week and see where you guys are at next week. Awesome. Cool. Let's breathe some safety, some trust, and some healing back into your physical conversations. Now, let's move on to gear three, right here at the middle.
My
Okay.
favorite gear.
Yeah. Gear three is playful touch. Now, playful touch is, I think, one of the most underrated misunderstood physical conversations that you can have. Playful touch it intermixes genital pleasuring, non-genital pleasuring. Again, we can do this when we're clothed, semi-clothed, nude. It doesn't really matter. What are some examples? This is where showers come in. This is where full body massage, some fun dancing, games, a lot of physical games is what we're looking for here. And what makes playful touch so important is Ollie a minute ago was talking about the waxing and waning of erections and how much anxiety that can give people. Okay. That is a true thing that we deal with all the time. What is a game? The fundamental basics of a game is problem solving, is getting from point A to point B as quickly as possible. So playful touch communicates humanizing and problem solving. Oftentimes when we look at our partner, we either see them as this porcelain doll that we can't mess with, or we have them on this pedestal, right? We revere them so much that we don't feel as if we can really touch them. And when we run into sexual problems, we fall apart. Why? Because we've let go of playing, we've let go of problem solving. The relationship has gotten so serious. We don't humanize each other, right? We don't look at each other as people who we can kind of be rough with, that can take, some good rough housing, that can just be normal. And so playing in your relationship is actually one of the most important things because it helps you figure out if you guys are more playful, then it helps you get that creativity that you need for when the erection goes down, when the vagina starts to dry up, when our head just starts to go somewhere else. It's what gives us the ability to be like, hey, you know what? You want popcorn? Let's go do this, right? You want to go
Mhm.
do that? Let's switch over here. Let's switch over here because you've played, you've learned to problem solve a lot better.
Danny, this one makes me so it makes me both happy and sad
Mm,
because like you said, I think it's the most underrated. Or just that people don't actually think it's not even like, oh, I forgot about that. It's like I will get couples all the time, or even individuals that when we talk about sex, it's like, oh, but then like, and not when I say like they started laughing or they like, it's like one person maybe took a more playful approach. And
sure.
it like was very off-putting to the other person, or they're like, I've never like what? Like, does that mean they didn't like it? Or and again, not in necessarily like the way they were joking, someone found offense to, not like that. Like just one person who tried to make it more playful, the other person was so not used to that or like didn't even know how to respond to that that they're like, is that okay? Like, does that should we be doing that even? And it blows my mind because I remember, and I forget who in our program, but we for sure had one teacher that I loved how they worded it. And they were like, sex should be adult play. Like,
Mhm,
it is play that you now get to do as adults. Like, congratulations, you've entered this new level where it's like, now you get to introduce this into playtime. Isn't this
mhm,
fun? We didn't do this when we were younger, you know? And so I love viewing sex that way. And then even I know we're not talking about like sexual intercourse right now, but just play in general. Like there is so much anthropological research or sociological research around how every culture just like it doesn't matter if you're a first world country or a third world country, like we are designed to want to play and problem solve. And like you will see people come together that don't even speak the same languages or kids that like don't know how to talk yet. Like that are just trying to play. Like they're
mhm,
searching for how to get that out of another person or taking sticks and things and like making games. Like we are designed to play. And so I have never understood why people wouldn't want to keep or actively work to keep the like laughter and the silliness and the whether it's inside of the bedroom or not with their partner. And I get some people are not the like a jokesters or they're like, oh, like I don't know, I'm like not really into that. And like that's okay, but you can have a way that's like your own type of banter or like
yeah.
your own things that you still find silly and entertaining. And like I just don't think people understand the necessity for that. And it was, oh, I forgot what it was, but even like the other day, Ryan and I laughed like so hard, like where it was like one of those like I don't know the expression. Your stomach, whatever, churning. I don't know.
Yeah,
Is that
stomach
the
churning, that's a thing.
stomach churning laugh? I think, or was
Oh,
that
I don't think that's a thing, that sounds painful.
stomach barreling? I don't know. There's an expression where like when you're laughing so hard, I mean, it's like it's so guttural, and
Mhm,
you're just like you can't. It's like just you can't stop. And I remember I was like, "Whoa, like, I haven't laughed that hard in so long." And I have a few friends like that too, that I, like, distinctly our friendship stands out to me because we're the kind of people that are just laughing the entire time we're together, like, no
Right.
matter what we're doing. And it's like just laughter again, there's so much research around laughter and how so good it is for you and everything it, like, does to our bodies, and it's crazy. And so we really need to bring the playfulness back, people.
Yeah, I think this really comes out with people who have a performance anxiety or performance
Yeah.
thoughts in the bedroom, right? When you think about what sex should look like, people aren't laughing. People are moaning, people are this, people are that. You're looking at the angles, right? All this stuff. And so you're trying to emulate that. You don't see like all the levity and the beauty that should be in the bedroom. And so I think that people they undervalue playfulness because it doesn't match what they're looking at. It doesn't match what they imagine.
Mhm.
And so let's humanize, let's learn to problem solve with our bodies. What are a few ways that we can do that? Is number one, showering, I think, is a very humanizing thing. Yes, it sounds sexy at first, but then at the end of the day, you guys are getting clean, right?
Also, I would just love to hear from anyone in the comments who does shower with their partner and it feels sexy. I genuinely would love to know. I'm not challenging you. That's gotta be one of those things that in theory, I'm like, I want this to be something. And then in
Mhm.
execution, I'm like, this is hilarious. This is not practical at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, like when the shower turns on and the clothes are
Mm.
coming off, it's like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be nice." And then you get in there and you're standing there together and it's like,
What do
"I
we do? I'm like, do I
mm."
shave my armpit with you just right above me? And then you want the water? I'm fucking freezing. You blocked the whole damn thing. Now I'm in the back shivering. I'm butt freaking naked. I'm like, this isn't the move for us. But I know some people that shower together regularly. And I'm like,
Mhm.
this is like such a different experience.
Yeah.
So I'm like, please, I would genuinely love to know if you're like, no, that is our connecting moments. I'm like,
Mhm.
wow,
One of the best
respect.
things we've ever seen because her and I do like to shower together,
Mhm.
but our issue is that I like tempered water and she likes to boil herself.
Oh, yeah, I wanna cook.
I don't understand you
I want
guys.
third-degree burns. It's the
What
only
you
way
don't
this
know
body gets any color, Danny.
what you guys don't know is that Ollie is actually dark brown, but her showers are so hot that she just boils her skin clean off every day.
I am so white, you can see where my veins turn from, like, red to blue. It's so disgusting.
So I don't remember where it was at one of our vacations, one of the resorts that we stayed at one time, and there was I think it might even been on our honeymoon. They had 2 shower heads that
Yes,
were
if you
completely
design a shower for
yeah,
this shit, we've been to certain Airbnbs that I'm like, whoever design there's, like, shelves or, like, little steps built
yeah,
into, like, the tile things at certain places that I'm
yeah.
like, "That wasn't meant for
That's
anything."
intentional.
Yeah,
Instant
I'm like,
5-star review. They know
yeah,
what they're doing.
yeah. I'm like, "I appreciate this." It's
Yeah.
those little things, and same thing with, like, oh god, now I'm just getting but people that have heated floors in their bathrooms.
Heated
Have you seen this?
floors.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah, like, you can put, like a hot coil under Danny, it's for rich people, not us, but you can put a coil under, like, tile in a bathroom and heat the floors, and I'm like, "Genius." And not I mean, clearly for anyone, like, that sounds lovely, you don't have to step on, like, cold tile, but I imagine for things like this and connecting with your partner, it's like these little and when I say little touches, I don't literally mean like, that obviously is a huge thing to do, that's expensive, I don't mean it like that, I just mean it's these, like, things that I wouldn't even at first tie the 2 together, but it's
Mhm,
like, then imagine if you can go in from the shower that was designed thinking about, "How do I get you 2 to connect in the shower where it's actually practical, not like Ollie and Danny's shower at home."
mhm.
And then you get out of the shower when you're not the moment is not ruined by someone's foot hitting a super cold tile being like, "Oh my god, like, did we bring my slippers in here?" It's like, no, like, we have like, it's just every step of the process has been thought through. And I'm like, just a house designed for, like, connection
Mhm.
with your partner and sex. I think these are, like, the random shit that I think about. I'm not an architect or designer by any means, but I'm like, I think it'd be so fun to randomly think about, like, if you truly designed a house for connection, what are all the little stupid like, what are all the minute details you'd put in there?
Yeah, yeah, that's super fun for me. So yeah,
Right?
hop in the shower, but there are a bunch of other ways that you can communicate with your body and practice playful touch. Here are a few ways that I really like. Is number one, charades. Charades are actually really fun. So it's a way for you to engage, use your body. This is always an interesting gear to talk about because a lot of people like saying jokes. They like talking playfully, but they don't really understand how to move playfully. And so, this gear, again, this entire exercise is about communicating with your body. It's about engaging in physical touch in a playful way. Charades actually go a long way with this one. Another thing that some couples have taken to is if you blindfold a partner, take them by the hand, and then take them for a walk around the street, right? Blindfold them and take them for a walk down the street. And I can't tell you how quickly it will be the funniest experience for you because some people are super skittish. Some people now don't trust anything. They're looking out for every single crack or every way to trip themselves. Sometimes you can just take your partner and just start running really quick and see how quickly they jolt back. This is playful. It's a playful way to use your body. Twister is another way that you guys can do this for all of y'all agile people that still have your knees. Another thing is some people like to play hide and seek. And so if you live in a house, you can just shut off all the lights, get the light on your phone, and just try and find each other, right? Just be a kid again and play. Use your
Wait,
body.
Danny, I'm curious because I don't know if this would actually qualify. Because in my head, I'm like, I guess this is the same as playing video games together. But on Netflix, have you guys played Underwater Melon?
No.
Okay, there's a game on Netflix you can play. It's called Underwater Melon. It's the best game ever. It just has cute sounds, the colors are great. You, like, attach fruit to make other fruit, and you wanna make we literally were like, "What the fuck is the highest score on here?" Because I think we beat it. And, like, neither of us play video games, and we love this game. We don't play all the time, but every now and again, we're like, "Hey, like, let's try a round." And we've gotten, like, 2 or 3 million. I mean, like, it gets so intense. Like, we're like, "Should we go left? I don't like I think we should combine the strawberries. I just like, we're gonna run out of time. It's gonna go under the line. I don't know if we can do it." And, like, just when things line up or work out just perfectly and, like, you hit the next round in, like, the nick of time or whatever. I mean, we're not like, I guess I seem very excitable. But I mean, when I'm playing games, and we've talked about this, I'm not competitive. I'm very just like, okay, cool, I'm playing the game. And my husband's exactly the same. He's super chill all the time. We are like on our couch being like, fuck yeah! Like, I mean, we are like, it's crazy. And so I highly recommend Underwater Melon on Netflix if anyone out there hasn't tried. I deem it as playful, even though I guess it's the same as like playing video games together, but not just like, oh, we each have a controller and like whatever. It's like, no, like games that require you to be a team.
Mm.
Sorry, there's a husky shitting on our front yard and the dogs are not on it. But he's picking it up. Thank you, kind sir. But yeah, so anything that requires you to be like a team and you're like actively, it's not just like, oh, we're playing a game together, we're sitting next to each other and we each have controllers and
Mm.
like doing our own thing. I think there's a difference when it's like, no, it's connective, we're problem solving, we're a team in this, and we're like actively talking and like strategizing during it.
Okay, no, I like that one. I'll throw out an honorable mention then. If we are
Yes.
talking about video games, It Takes Two is a
I've heard of it, but I
yeah,
haven't played it.
yeah, it's a very cute video game made by I think it's like Hazellight Studios. They made another game called I forget what it is, but it's essentially two brothers or two guys breaking out of prison, whatever. The entire studio, like they love to make co-op games where the two people, like the two players, have very unique jobs. And so It Takes Two is actually a game that me and my wife have been trying to get through in our kind of free time whenever we feel like it. But yeah, the stuff like that, great.
I love
I
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Cool. So, if you want to bring humanizing and problem solving back into the bedroom, let's see how playful that we can be. We've given you a lot of different choices to pick from. Pick one of them. Let us know how it's working out for you. Cool. Moving
Love
on
it.
to number 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, I get it. You were moving the fourth finger, but Danny just held up 5 fingers and went number 4.
4.
I see.
Yeah. Number 4 is erotic touch. Now, this is the most challenging gear to get into. Erotic is not intercourse, it's touching that can include manual, oral, rubbing, or vibrator stimulation. Creating erotic scenarios and using these techniques are integral to sexuality. Why? Because what we communicate is vitality, creativity, and unpredictability. Now, if you guys are asking, this is one of the biggest complaints I get when couples are seeing a dip in their sexuality, that they've lost the spark, that things aren't as spontaneous as they used to be. Now, there's a whole other, a whole other list of things that we need to talk about to explain why that happens. But if you do really want to bring that spark back in, practicing erotic touch is probably going to be one of the most important things. Now, again, similar to sensual touch, I think it's important to let eroticism stand on its own. You might be saying, well, Danny, no, I flirt with my partner all the time. I'm touching them. I do this, right? I stimulate them in these ways, blah, blah, blah. And we still just don't get to the bedroom. That might be because this form of touch has been used as kind of a segue, has always had this intention of sex behind it. And that might be something that your partner is starting to react against. And so, if we can practice sensuality and eroticism and just let those ones be, then you might notice a difference in your sex life going forward.
I
So,
like that this is like it compartmentalizes the two
mm,
almost, or like takes them like as if we're looking at like a bowl and these are all the ingredients, it's like
mhm,
taking those out and trying those two ingredients just on their own and being
mhm,
like, oh, what is this one actually just when it's by itself? And what is this one when it's just by itself?
mhm,
Because yes, in this bowl, they can mix and lead to great things. But I think when we don't understand the flavor of the individual ingredients, like there's a lot that we're gonna miss there.
right, right. So, what are some examples of erotic touch that you guys can be practicing this week? One of the big ones is how you guys flirt. So, some people kind of grope each other, poke each other, some people spank each other on the butt. This is really what we're talking about here when it comes to erotic touch. Also, I want us to think very pleasurable, right? And so, this is also where you see stimulation. If we go back to what's written in Barry McCarthy's work, he says manual, oral, rubbing, or vibrator stimulation. So bring out the toys, bring out the fun stimuli. This is where all that comes in. Why? Because when we're flirting, think about that. When you're flirting with someone and really just enjoying flirting, not only is it often unpredictable, right? You might sneak up on your partner and, catch a peek of them dressing, getting ready, or you might, give them a little spank or whatever. Not only is that unpredictable, but it really does communicate where my head is at. It really is telling you where my mind is going. There is so much, what's the word? Covert conversation going
Mhm.
on. Where we really kind of shoot ourselves in the foot is when we only flirt with our partner with intentions for having sex.
Wait, sorry, Danny, can I chime in
Mhm.
really quick?
Yeah.
Because yeah, think about how probably at the beginning of your relationship, just stereotypically speaking, or in previous relationships or with other people, I feel like we've all had
Mhm.
those moments that you're like, when you're flirting, and sure, maybe one person is flirting with the intention because they're like, I would like this to go somewhere. But probably the first time you flirted or for the first, like, that little blip of time, nothing has happened yet. And you're just like kind of endlessly flirting with this person. And like you said, it's this like, okay, we're flirting and then it just kind of stops. And
Mhm.
then, maybe you see him in a day or two or it continue like, but it doesn't lead to anything. And I think we've all had that feeling with someone before and it's like insatiable. Like you like cannot stop thinking about them or you're like it's almost to the point where you're like, I don't even care if this is gonna be good or not. Like it needs to happen at
Yeah.
this point. Like that's how much it like turns you on. And it's like, yeah, that happened because it didn't lead to anything. Like you
Mhm.
gave it the time to just sit and marinate and drive you nuts when it didn't turn into sex. So just to point that out, it's like that's also probably why it's like we find it so intriguing and enticing to flirt or
Mhm.
have that erotic or eroticism in the relationship or so to speak, even if before it's, like considered a full blown relationship. But that's why it's so enticing even without sex.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, 100%. This is actually another reason why we would want to put sex on a schedule, right? When we say, "Hey, let's either take sex off the table or let's say that we're going to have sex on Friday, on Saturday, on fill in the blank." it gives us an opportunity to then practice and really enjoy eroticism. It helps build anticipation, knowing that, hey, I can now flirt with my partner and I don't have to worry about, again, these mixed signals. I don't have to worry about rejection. I don't have to worry about all this stuff. And I really just get to build that anticipation. That is one of the reasons why we would also put sex on a schedule, is so that we can really let eroticism bloom again.
And I think I've never met people out the gate who are like, oh, okay, that sounds lovely. Or like, duh, like, let us just do that. It's like, I have never met people who are super open to or think that that's going to be a great idea.
Yeah.
But I promise you, it can be so much more helpful than people think. And I truly believe that this idea of like, you're coming into it based on how you're already viewing sex
Mhm.
and how you want probably, you're craving the spontaneity back or the just like the organicness that once existed or what you have in your mind that, will lead to great sex. We are now telling you that these 5 gears of touch, like a lot of this is a new information for people to some extent. So it's like we're giving you a whole new recipe here that we want you to follow, and you're basing this like schedule it on like your own recipe and how
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
you view this to go. But it's like if you trust us, then doing this our way, kind of a sex therapist, it's like this can still have all of these components in it and almost set you up for success so that after you have the sex that was scheduled, you're like, holy shit, that was a totally different experience
Mhm.
than A, you probably thought it would be, and B, than you've probably been having.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Because when we put it on the schedule, what couples will notice is that these gears have been turned off. The reason why putting it on the schedule is such a meh idea for so many people is because they understand that nothing happens between now and then. And so yeah, it is 100% a challenge to practice these four between now and
Yes.
the time you guys are having sex, and you
Everything.
will see how much easier it is to actually get into the bedroom and have a good experience.
Like everything happens between now and then.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Esther Perel who's like the sex is the last time you had sex, or foreplay is the last time you had sex to the next time you have sex?
Oh, I
Like
like that.
what this should do is say, okay, it's not scheduled for 4 days, rather than feel like, oh, okay, so I guess I'm not gonna get laid in 4 days. You know what I'd be doing? I'd be like, ooh, he'd really appreciate it if I did this for him. Ooh, you're sitting down. Let me massage you real quick.
Mhm.
It's like I'm setting myself up so that when that day comes in 4 days, they're ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to ask for what I need in the moment. And that person's like, she's done all the dishes. She's done all the dishes this whole week. Girl, what you want me to do? I'll
Yeah,
do anything. It's
yeah.
like that's the foreplay, people. That's the foreplay. I get Jenny. Sorry. Which I will say is ironic because this is erotic is for sure my hardest gear of touch.
Okay, cool. So then, Ollie, how do you like to flirt with your partner? How do you like to be erotic with your partner? Or is there some way that you might want to challenge yourself this week?
See, I think I'm really playful. So I think I just lean into the playful. I would say I'm very minimally erotic, if anything. And so I guess I'd like to try to touch my partner in ways that are slightly more, I think would surprise him a little bit, would surprise me a little bit, but not lead to sex.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
that could be good for us. I do tell myself all the time. I'm like, I gotta do that more.
Mhm.
So I think this week I would like to try to do that. He'd be very thankful, very appreciative.
What is his favorite way? Do you know, to be erotic or to let you know that with his body that he's been thinking about you?
See, I feel like it leans into some of the other ones. Like, I don't think either of us are too erotic. I think he's a licker. Is that a thing?
It is today. Okay.
I just think if it's a, it could just be like a kiss somewhere or whatever, but if it's paired with like a lick of sorts, I think it starts going into the erotic that I'm like, I know that if I were like, I don't got a client for 2 hours, I know what would happen
Sure.
when the lick comes into play.
Okay.
You
I
know
like
what
that.
I
It's
mean?
good for you. Yeah. I
How
like
about
that.
you
Very good for
guys?
you.
This is getting really this is getting really open.
How do I like to be erotic? How do I like to be more creative and unpredictable? As well, my partner, she really appreciates it when she likes my hand on her bum.
Oh,
That's a thing for her. It's
I
very
love
interesting.
that she loves that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's great. And so something that I might do is if we're like in public, I might give her like a little squeeze. And that just kind of lets her know that I'm thinking about her. And I'll usually get a comment about it later. And so that's a fun way. I don't lick, but I do think I like to bite.
Okay, so thank God. See, I'm just glad that you didn't make me seem like a weirdo for being like, "My husband licks things."
Yeah, no. Um, and I also do at random times, I do this intentionally at random times. Like she might be looking in a pantry or she might be like changing her kid or walking into a room or whatever. I will stop her and just like spin her around and I might just like, hug her, like dip her or like kiss her and then just like push her away and just walk away just to kind of like mess with her.
That's cute.
And yeah. So that's what I like to do.
Oh, I love that.
I just want to plant that seed. I want you to know, hey, I know that we're busy. I know that we have a lot of stuff going on. I know all of that, right? I'm not asking us to drop everything and to do it. I'm not. I'm
But
not. No, 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 I'm not. No,
that
no.
is that is really
I'm
cute.
not. But I do just want to let you know, right? I just want to let you know that I'm thinking about you, that I want you, that I think you're gorgeous. And that's it. Just go on about your day.
That's cute. Ryan does that too, where I'm clearly busy or like doing something, and he'll just be like, "I just need you to know, like at any time, the
I'm
house
ready.
could be on fire, anything could be happening. Oh my god, one of the dogs at any time, whenever you're feeling it." And I'm like in the middle of like actively I'm like, "Got it. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciated. Like so nice of you. I'm just gonna finish this up." And he's like, "All right, sounds good. I just wanted to let you know."
Open for
Never
business.
want yeah. Never can have you questioning it. Just wanted to let you know. I'm like, "Okay."
Cool.
But see, like, to me, that also feels very playful. I know he is so serious,
Mhm.
but, like, I think I just lean so heavily into the playful that that's definitely my way of flirting. I
Yeah,
have never been a good flirty person.
I'll
My
give
way
that
of
to you.
flirting is bad.
I will
Or
give
just
that to you because what I will say, because I do notice that there could be a very thin line between playful flirting and erotic flirting. What
mhm.
I really notice to be the difference is it's internal. It's a very personal thing
Yes.
to own what it is that to own the driving feeling, right? Playfulness, while genuine and authentic, I think has this kind of level of separation between you and the emotion, whether it be, horniness, activation, arousal, whatever, fill in the blank, right? There's a level of separation because it's playful versus erotic. The exact same, change absolutely nothing about the action, but own that feeling,
That's so true.
it's a completely different thing.
That's so true, and in my head, I was literally thinking, like, the people that can, like, sit their partner down and be like, "I'm gonna give you a lap dance."
Mhm,
That can be so erotic.
mhm.
Me attempting that would be hands down that'd be like a comic skit. That'd be like me I don't know, I'd put on, like, booty, 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 booty rocking everywhere, and it'd be so bad. It'd be no. And so it is hilarious that it's like, yeah, you can take the same action and just the way someone owns it, the way that they feel about it, the way can be completely different experiences.
Mhm. Yeah, so
So I
think
think
about
that's
that.
important to mention. That was a really good point.
Yeah. If you find yourself to not be the most erotic person in the world, but you do see yourself as playful, then that is a challenge I would give you is let's focus on owning that feeling and see what it does just to your own internal experience of you being playful. Right? Just see what it does for you. And then we'll see what that does for your partner. But yeah, if you want to communicate, if you want to speak some vitality, creativity, and unpredictability back into your relationship, Gear 4 might be where we sit this week. Let's think of a way where you can, stimulate your partner in a non sexual way. Let that breathe. and come back and tell us how things have improved.
Send us an email.
Send us an email. Yeah, cool. Last one is fifth gear, and I don't really want to spend too much time on this because it's sex. Not to say that like sex is simple and not as important as
Boo,
the other
it
one, right?
sucks.
Yeah, not to say that, but I really wanted to focus on the other four. But let's go. Fifth gear is intercourse. So there are two crucial concepts in integrating intercourse into the gears of connection. First is that intercourse is a natural continuation of the pleasuring and eroticism process. It's not a pass or fail performance test, which is why I think I really want us to focus on gears 1 through 4 is that this should be a continuation of the conversation you have been having all week. I want you to express fondness and admiration. I want you to talk about safety and healing with your body. I want us to practice humanizing and problem solving. I want us to breathe vitality and creativity, curiosity into your relationship. Sex should be the culmination of all that, the continuation of all those conversations. And number two is that the transition into intercourse, we're kind of looking for higher levels of erotic flow. This is not only when sex is more successful, but it's also when sex is more safe, right? We don't want anyone to get hurt. And so practicing the first four is what loosens up the body, is what lets the body receive touch as welcoming, as safe, as pleasurable, so that when you guys finally do get into the bedroom and have your traditional sex intercourse, things are running a lot more smoothly.
One
So,
thing that I like about this one, though, Danny, that I do think is important to point out is I know that, and I think a lot of what we do, right, is like trying to like emphasize and highlight to people, like, yes, I get we want to get there. That's our destination. So it's not that we're trying to like downplay it. It's just that all these other pieces are so much more important. What's that phrase? Like the journey's more important than the destination? Is that a
uh,
thing?
yeah, it is a thing, sure.
Or the climb is more important than the summit. I don't know. Whatever that expression is. It's like I really think that applies here. Maybe
I
not that
agree.
it's more important. Like I want you to have sex with your partner, but like when you have these other four gears down, sex, like I think you will experience a very different type of sex than you have, a much more pleasurable type of sex. And I think it's important that we also point out things like sex in gear 5, sexual touch, can happen without climax. Like
Sure, yeah,
sex
yeah.
does not need to be, sorry, that husky's back. Sex does not have to be like something where, one person finishes and then the other, and it's in that order every time. And we have to finish for this to be a success, quote unquote. It's like, no, like this is just like we said with the other gears. This is just another gear. And it can look different each time. And you can have fun with it and you can play around with it. And it can start and stop. It can
Mhm.
ebb and flow. It doesn't need to be at night in bed. Like I just want people, I think, to start viewing sex differently as to everything it can be and everything that it as opposed to things I guess that it needs to be.
Sure. No, no, I love that. So if you have been claiming that your love language is physical touch, then this is my challenge for you.
Which
Uh,
gear? There are many. Well, there's
yes.
5. 5.
Yes. If you think that your language is physical touch, then here you go. Where are you actually sitting? What are you actually confident in doing? This is what I want my couples to be doing when they touch each other. I want them to be looking at this and understanding what they're communicating to one another when they touch each other. Cool. Any last things for you?
I guess it just makes me think of the book Sex at Our Age, which is I love it so much. I have it on my bookshelf somewhere. I forget who wrote it. But it's just like people that are old that just talk about like really great sex they have and all.
Mm,
And I think it's the most beautiful thing ever. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in such a non-voyeuristic way. I wish I could just watch people have sex that makes them happy. And I could just watch it and be like, you guys go. I'll be like, oh, you whipped out that? I didn't know you'd be into that. Like,
you're
I would
limber.
love it. I wish I could. I would just love that so much and so not erotic. I'd be like, that was great, guys. I'm gonna go grab dinner. See you
Yeah.
later. Like, I would just love it. It would fill my whole cup. But I had one other thing though, Danny. Oh, I think it'd be fun to end with. So for you, what is your goal for this week? Like, what's
Mm,
one of which gear do you feel like you want to focus on? And what do you think you want to do?
you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
What I would really want to focus on is, you know what? This week, what I want to focus on a little bit more is sensual touch.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think we do a great job at, we're very confident with our physical conversations, but I have noticed that just because of how busy we are with work, that I don't think that we spend too much time practicing safety, unity, and healing. And so I think that is something that I would like to focus on a little bit more this week. I think I want to, you know, pull the reins back and be a little bit more sensual.
In a particular way, like sensual how?
What I really like massaging. Yeah, and so I guess the way that I'm picturing it is, I think this is super cute that when we've been in bed, even though sometimes like our baby just crawls in between us, sometimes we'll just kind of extend our hands and hold each other's
Oh.
hands for a little bit. I'm really looking forward to something like that this week.
Oh, that's really cute. I don't know why I randomly thought of this. Ryan gave me a massage, I don't know, like a few weeks ago. And it was funny. He started massaging my butt, which he doesn't normally do. And in like a very not sexual way, he was just like, oh, I love when my butt's massaged. Like it feels great. And I was like, oh, wow, actually, like this does feel great. And so if
Mm.
Pal likes when you touch her butt, maybe try massaging her butt if you can. I don't know if you do that ever, but like I didn't even think about it. And I was like, oh, this is great.
I'll report back.
Yeah, yeah, let me know how she likes that butt massage because that was my glutes. Felt awesome.
How about you?
I'm gonna do erotic,
Okay.
and I'm gonna touch Ryan in a few places I have in mind that I've been like, "I gotta touch him there more." He loves it every time,
Cool.
every
All
time.
right. And everyone else, we want to know, right? If you
Wanna
like this
know?
episode, if this
Give
was
us
helpful
a
for you,
comment.
yes.
Send us an email, a voice note. I don't know if you can do that over email. You don't need to do that. I
And
just
if nothing else, a like, share, and subscribe. But let us know what you're doing to speak with your bodies this week. This was a lot of fun. So thank you, Barry McCarthy. I think that you're amazing.
thanks, Barry.
And I'm excited for next week.
Barry, so much better than Gary. Moral of the story. Barry, not Gary.
All right, bye.